Okay, so the title of this video is Deontay Wilder breaks silence. What if he's right about Fury cheating? Now I want to start this video and make a very, very clear disclaimer. BWTM,
Okay, so the title of this video,
Bayloric Wide Television and Media, has been around over almost 10 years now. No, over 10 years. And through the 10 years of having this channel, the one thing I've done throughout, for the most part, is stay as balanced as possible. And as I've grown and got older with the channel, I've come to understand that if you can try and stay as balanced as possible and give each side a uh, fair voice or fair opinion, or people allowed to speak their piece, then that is the one. That is the objective of the channel. 2, this channel is not about being popular. It's not my views or the views of the channel. It's not about being popular. You can be very unpopular for speaking about truth. So let me get that clear as well. 3, I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to be worshipped. I'm not here to be appreciated. For those who've been rocked with me from the good times and the bad times, I appreciate you and love you all. You understand? For that. And for those of you who are hating, thank you so much. I've got even more news to make you hate us even more. But now we get to this point about Deontay Wilder. I'm going to give you an example of something first. What would happen if Mike Tyson fought Muhammad Ali? We've heard it spoken about over and over again. What would happen if Ali fought Rocky Marciano? What would happen if? What would happen if? Some of the people we talk about are not even alive today. But nobody's going to come up to you and say to you, you're crazy for thinking that. You're crazy for thinking that. You're thinking about a person that's passed and no longer with us, about a man who's current. Or you're talking about a generational thing. But nobody will come across and call you crazy. I remember Dave Chappelle said something once. He says, when you've got an opinion and somebody comes across and calls you crazy, it's very dismissive. Very, very dismissive. And I'm not saying that Deontay Wilder's right. I'm not saying that Deontay Wilder's wrong. But I will say this much. If it were you in your situation at work, if it were you in your situation, if a relationship you cared about, and you were being accused of something, and you couldn't get your opinion across because you were being ridiculed by the other person, you were being shut down, you were being stonewalled, you wouldn't have it. You wouldn't accept it. It's very easy to talk about things like mental health and say, oh, I support mental health. Or, we've got a campaign against mental health. But you're the same people that are going to turn around and be the cause of it, the conduit of it, for your dismissive actions. You're dismissive. What makes your opinion so universally that no matter what you say, if you say, then it has to be the truth? There are many people that come on this channel. Listen, I've said things and got it wrong. And I'll tell you something. When I say things, for example, the Canelo situation, PBC, I've been telling people Canelo's going to go to PBC. I had Derek James doing an interview with him. But people still on this channel come along and want to argue with me. He's gone to PBC. Very few people, only one person has come to me and said to me, I got that wrong. You know what? You're absolutely right. He's gone and left the PBC. How many times I've said things on this channel? How many times I've said things on the channel and people just dismiss what you got to say? Think you're a fool, think you're an idiot, think you're stupid. Very few people will come back afterwards or have the character to come back afterwards and say, you know what, bro? I got that wrong. Very few people. And that's to do with character, integrity. And a lot of people don't have it. It's a lost characteristic in people. Now, this video I'm setting up to talk about now, Deontay Wilder, former WBC heavyweight champion of the world. We say we love boxing. Do we? Do we really love boxing? Do we really love the fighters that put their lives on the line over and over and over again? Do we do that? Truly? Or is it when a fighter gets beat, you dismiss him and you go to the next fighter? Where's the loyalty in that? When I look at this situation with Deontay Wilder, and I'm in media, I'm not asking you for your opinion on media. It's a fact. Those who control the media control the minds. Right? In other words, you have to look at the top of this whole of this situation when it comes to media. I told you all over and over again, promoters with media outlets, literally in bed with media outlets, giving them free tickets so they can come to shows. I told you about Dan Raphael. No, or Dan Raphael, whatever his damn name is. No, it's not possible. It's not possible that a writer would be in bed with a promoter. Then Eddie Hearn comes out and says, "Oh yeah, I pay for this and that." All the people ridiculing me about that. Where are they now? Oh yeah, Eddie confirmed it. So I know what it's like to be ridiculed. I know what it's like to be on the other end of people being dismissive, coming with their own, not even with their own thought. The majority of people that come on these YouTube channels don't really have their own thought. Most of the thoughts they come from are thoughts from promoters. And a promoter is no better than a second-hand car salesman trying to sell you a product. Some of the products are faulty, but they're still trying to tell you that these fighters are going to do X, Y, and Z to you and sell you a dream, make you pay your money for a pay-per-view card, when they damn well know that fight doesn't stand a chance. Over and over again. We watch the same referees go on week in, week out, constantly robbing us of good fights or robbing us of decisions. Think about this for boxing, just for 1 second. I'm going to just digress for a second. Think about it. If I said to you, is boxing corrupt? People say to me, oh, boxing's not corrupt. There, people will say, boxing's not corrupt. I will say, well, look, open your eyes. Look at the judges. Look at the referees. How can it be a situation where two men get in a ring to fight and one guy already wins a fight if he gets the points regardless? That's not a fair fight, because there's A side and a B side. One person's got a promoter, the other one hasn't got a promoter. That's not fair. That's not fair. But we accept it. We accept it. This man, Deontay Wilder, talking about Fury cheated. Everyone has run to the defense of Tyson Fury. Again, I'm not saying if Fury did it or he didn't do it. But let me ask you this question. If it comes out that he has done it, with the amount of venom a lot of you've got and said that people are crazy and they're talking rubbish and this and that, have you got that same integrity? Have you got the same energy to come back and say, you know what, I got this wrong? Now, again, the things that I'm hearing on the grapevine aren't great news. And this Deontay Wilder story is not going to go away anytime soon. So, people will call him mad and crazy and all the rest of it. That's just to tell a guy to hush up. It's amazing how when Wilder said nothing, people were like, oh, Wilder's not saying anything. He's gone quiet. So then you wait for him to speak, you hear what the man's got to say, and then you just cut him off and dismiss him. Without saying to you for a second, wait, let me look a little further into this. Let me investigate this further. Let me look at the history before. Forget Fury Wilder. Let's go back. Has that organization ever been involved with gloves being tampered with before? With a commissioner being involved? Has it happened before? How did Margarito get away with doing what he did to Miguel Cotto? How did he get away from doing that? How was it allowed to happen? It happened in boxing. There are many stories in boxing that have happened where things have been underhanded. So this situation with Deontay Wilder and things that he said, if Deontay Wilder is right, what does that say for the world of boxing? If there's tangible evidence that this man can prove that his water was spiked by his trainer, can prove that Fury cheated in the fight, if there's evidence, pure, clean evidence, clear as day, and it's brought to court, and he's found to be right, then what happens? You've been defending a guy. You've been defending Fury all this time. Again, I repeat, I'm not suggesting Fury's done it, and I'm not suggesting Fury hasn't done it. That's not my job. My job is just to keep things balanced. This isn't about color. This isn't about nationality. This is about two guys fighting, and one is saying, look, bro, you weren't fair. You don't do things the fair way. What gives the public the right to have an opinion over a man that puts himself in the ring and puts his life on the line? None of these people who've got an opinion outside the ring are putting their lives on the line. I'm not talking about the boxing community. Now, Fury can say what the hell he wants. I haven't watched the interview. He can say what the hell he wants. He can say what he wants. That doesn't mean because Fury says it, that means he's innocent. No, it doesn't mean that at all. It means he's just done an interview. And, you know, as far as I look at it, is this. If you want to do a good job on character assassination on somebody, you just make them call them crazy. You just call a person crazy. Ah, he's crazy. And you put it enough times in the media, you know? So why are you going around bashing this guy and bashing people and saying that your opinion's not right? What makes your opinion so valid? What makes your opinion more valid than a man that's in a ring taking the blows? Because you sit down and watch it. And I'm talking to coaches as well. What makes your opinion the full stop? You haven't investigated it. You haven't seen what evidence this guy's got. But you know, Fury's definitely not cheated. Why is Fury definitely not cheated? And why is Wilder lying? Why is Wilder the crazy one and Fury's the saint? Why? Why is that? Why is that? See, I don't buy this. Well, okay, he can do an interview. I've worked in media long enough. I've seen stories being spun, not just in sport. I've seen stories being spun. A lot of these situations I saw when the Ebola was going out. I don't know, you can go and check it on YouTube when they had the whole Ebola thing going out in Africa, and they had it was one of the big major networks, maybe CNN, where there were actors, and at the end of the camera rolling, the guy turns around and says, "Hey, here's some money. Here's some money." So I don't. If Fury did a 4-hour interview saying I didn't do it, Wilder's crazy, he doesn't know what he's talking about, a blah blah blah, a blah blah blah. I don't care. I don't care what Fury's got to say. I don't care. Why does Tyson Fury? Why does Tyson Fury? If he says it, it's valid. But if Wilder says it, it's not valid. Can't you see the imbalance in that? If Fury says it, it's great. If Wilder says it, it's not great. Here's the situation again. If Floyd does it, it's boring. If Lomachenko does it, it's great. Huh? So, why is that? Why is that? And this. Let me show you the sort of thing is what I'm talking about here. Now, I'm talking about Wilder, and this person comes up and asks the question. Let me ask you if you think COVID is real. What the hell's that got to do with this conversation? Diverting the situation. We're talking about Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Whether COVID is real or it's not real, it's got nothing to do with this conversation. It's not relevant to this conversation. Don't even try and distract me. So, here we go. All I'm saying is be balanced and be fair. Investigate Colombo style. No fanboy business. 100% objective. And that's what it's about. Being objective. And there's not a lot of objectivity in boxing. There's not a lot of critical thinkers in boxing. Good evening, Denise Wards. Hope that you're well. Fury interview has been uploaded to YouTube in the last hour by Gareth F. Davis. Well, I can tell you something now. You can do what he wants. But from what I've heard, and the stories I'm hearing on the streets in America, it ain't sounding good. Not for Fury, it's not. But we'll see. If Wilder's right, so-and-so should apologise for pushing the Wilder bashing agenda. Well, let me give you another example. When the great Eduardo Hearn looked at us and told us Fury Wilder 1 was not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And the fight happened. Nobody went and called him crazy, did they? Nobody went and said he's crazy for having an opinion and saying that on the day of the fight, saying the fight's not going to happen. Nobody called him crazy. No, nobody said that was crazy at all. But somehow, this man has an opinion on something. It's crazy. You see what I'm saying? The day of the fight, this man is still on camera saying, I can't believe these two are going to fight. No, bro, it's going to happen. Regardless of what you think, this fight's going ahead. Nobody calls him crazy. It's because of the hate for the brothers of the LDBC. That's why they hate on Wilder so strongly. Well, let me tell you something about this. And I'm going to say something about the LDBC. I'm going to speak out about it today. I congratulate those brothers for doing what they're doing. And do you know why the LDBC has been created? Because there's too much damn biasness in boxing. And now what's happened is that the tables have turned. You're getting the nonsense that you've been throwing out there in the past of all your prejudice and all your racism and all the stuff you've been spinning out there for the years and being allowed to do it. New media's come in and said, you know what? No, we don't need you no more. We don't need to listen to your garbage no more. We don't need to listen to your racist racist comments no more, your racist undertones about fighters. This fight is not good enough and that fight is not good enough and that fight is not good enough. But these fighters here are great. We've fed up of you divide and conquer. So we're going to go and do our own thing. And for that, and the principle of that, of going and do their own thing and being independent, kudos to them. Right? I'm not saying that everything they say is the best thing since sliced bread. But let me tell you something. They're only doing what boxing writers have got away for doing for years. For years they've been doing it. Don't let me even start about what's going on in the UK. You tell me, if you look at boxing writers in the UK, let's keep it real. If we talk about boxing writers in the UK, so is it only middle class Caucasians that can write? Is that what you're trying to tell me about boxing? Is that what you're trying to tell me? That they're the only ones who know about boxing? And if you've got too much of a set of people with a certain set of mindset, and they are in media and they're controlling media, Of course, you're going to get the same sort of rubbish coming out all the time. Now, I'm not calling everybody racist. I'm not. But there's a fair few within boxing who have that mindset. So if the LDBC are doing what they're doing now, and again, I'm not endorsing everybody. I'm not endorsing everybody. But what I am endorsing is being independent. How can I sit here and not endorsing independent? And there's so many people that make up the LDBC, but the idea of saying enough is enough, we're taking back our media, and this is what we're doing. And they're being damn successful with it. You might not like it, but it's your own fault. Particularly you people out there that hate what they're saying. A lot of you people are quite comfortable to allow the racist agenda to continue. So, what they're doing is just turning it and saying, you know what? Have a taste of your own medicine. What you've been putting out there for the years gone by has been outrageous, disgusting, and we've had to accept it and put up with it. And we're not putting up with no more. We don't need to read your columns no more. We don't want to watch your racist videos no more about how bad our fighters are and how great your fighters are. We don't want to hear that no more. We're going to celebrate our fighters. And if you don't want to celebrate Deontay Wilder, we'll celebrate Deontay Wilder. And if you're doing your job properly, then things like the LDPC would have been created because it would have been fair media. And it's not fair media, so that's why LDBC has been created. And for that, I salute them for it. So you hear me endorsing them. Again, I repeat, I'm not endorsing everything. I'm not endorsing everything that they do, right? Because I'm not sitting there watching every video that they do. And that'd be stupid of me to sit and watch every single video they're doing. I've got my own business to run. I've got my own stuff to do. Do you understand? But ultimately, there's to bring balance back to media. Shout out to Blue Blood Sports for what he's doing. Working his arse off tirelessly. Fantastic. Great to see the brother doing well. Black Fight Fan TV. Shout out to him. Great work he's doing. Shout out to them. Do you understand? And guys that, you know, people that when I started out that I was looking up to, people that were doing great stuff. 78 Sports TV and Blood Boxing. Do you know what I mean? These are guys that I grew up watching. Do you know what I mean? So I can't. These are guys I started when I got boxing. I was watching these guys before I had my own channel. So I can't turn around and then turn around now and go, oh, what they're doing is dreadful. No, I'm not going to do that. Don't expect me to do that. So I'm speaking out and I'm making it very clear what I'm saying here. Very clear. And if anyone thought there was any divide, there isn't a divide. I endorse what they do. I love the idea of what they do. The concept, the idea of bringing media back and celebrating their fighters. Because if we wait for the old school dinosaur media to celebrate guys like Crawford, why the hell's Crawford leaving Top Rank? Got to leave Top Rank. Don't get me started, people. Just don't. But it has to be said. I'm sick and tired of it. Good evening, Cameron. Yeah, a lot of channels are feeding on this Wilder bashing pretty sick, all honesty. It is. Okay. The LDBC is a joke, only spread lies. Oh, so only the LDBC spreads lies. So you're telling me that alternative or mainstream media doesn't spread lies. Well, you see, bro, you ain't part of the solution, you're part of the problem. You've always been part of the problem, never part of the solution. So you would accept mainstream media that tells lies all the time, for the most part. You don't work in media, I'm telling you, for the most part, mainstream media sells for sensationalism and to sell papers. And I'm telling you, for somebody who studied university media, so I'm not just talking at my side of my ear. Media is about how do they make their money. Media, newspapers, sensationalism. You know what I mean? I've sat down and with fighters, sitting right next to a fighter, and watching stuff come up on major boxing networks or boxing forums. I'm sitting next to a fighter and going. They're going, did you know this happened? They'll say to me, no, I don't know anything about this. But it sells. It sells. Be cool. No, Chris. There's no be cool. There's nothing about being cool tonight. This is something I have to speak about. Yeah, he's a joke and a liar. Of course he's a joke and a liar. I haven't forgotten how people switched on Joshua spewing out racist comments, then running back in the closet saying racism doesn't exist. There we go. We have to speak out about these things, the nonsense. And it's the same old people. Same old people. Yeah. I don't care. This is what independent media is about. There's no point saying you've got independent media and then acting like one who's within the mainstream media. What is the mainstream media anyway? And you all don't understand for a lot of it. The same old people coming up over and over and over again. You look at it. Look at the demographics of it. So it's a breath of fresh air watching the LDBC do their things. The same old people doing the same old interviews over and over and over again. It's about numbers. So you get the same old type of interview over and over and over again. The promoter sits down, says, all right, this is how the interview is going to go. And you all sit down and you think to yourself, oh yeah, this is a great interview. This is the truth. No, they'll sit down and say, well, how am I going to do this interview? I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, I have to do thousands of interviews. I'm telling you, before an interview, people say, okay, particularly if it's damage control, they'll say, how are we going to do this interview? Okay, you're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this, but we'll sway out of this and keep away from that. And then you make sure the person you're doing the interview with is not a person who's going to ask too many questions or any questions that are going to put you under certain pressure to answer certain things, right? So anybody can sit down and do an interview. But we've got different types of interviews. Just like when you do just before they fight, they do this shadow work, pad work. A lot of that stuff is just, it's fluff. For the most part, it's fluff. It's something for people to see. Or as they say in the boxing trade, it's for the cameras. It's just for the cameras. So the media can take pictures but for the most part, fighters don't really want to do that. They just want to get in the ring and fight. That's for the media. Why is it oftentimes you go to the gym and you'll see, like, you go to the gym and then the lights go out or they'll cut back and they'll cut back afterwards and you see the person talking afterwards and you see they've got sweat in the face and they've been working out at the gym. They don't tell you what's going on. They don't show you what's going on in sparring. So, dear. Of course it's about numbers, Chris. But let's get into this tonight. Let's talk about this tonight. This means Ricky Hatton would have been in and out in on it then also. Quite possibly. I don't know. What I'm telling you is that let's just keep balance for a second, because if this man has got solid evidence and he brings it to court, and I understand there are people who look at this situation more, then I just want to, all I want to see is balance. That's all I want. MSM always have an agenda, okay? Do I think Fury cheated? If I said to you, when Fury was boxing Wilder, he covered his face with his glove with his face. If I said to you that Tyson Fury, while he was fighting Deontay Wilder, covered Wilder's face with his glove, which you're not really actually meant to do, it's not a legal thing. If I said that to you, you'd say I was lying. But there's a picture right here. It's an old pro's trick. But look, you're blocking a man so he can't, blocking his vision so he can't throw a punch. You see that there? But if I told you that, you'd say I was lying. Now you've got this video up here. What are you going to say to me here? What are you going to tell me? Now, I'm not trying to stitch up Tyson Fury here. This is what happened in a fight. Great defense, by the way. Great defense, because the guy don't know, Wilder don't know where his right hand's going, and Fury's got himself blocked and protecting there. All right? So, just showing you that there. But you'd call me crazy if I said that to you. Whether Fury cheated or not, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about what if. What if? The LDBC lacks objectivity. They don't go based on facts, just are biased. They most hype up PBC fights. Wait. So mainstream media don't do that to their own fighters. The Lomachenko hype. Were you up Lomachenko's ass? I wouldn't be surprised if you were. No way. Chris Mason says no way. Okay. How can gloves at World Championship level be tampered with in 2020? Rules and regulations are far stricter. Okay. How was Margarita able to damage the career of the legendary Miguel Cotto? That guy should never have been able to box again, period. He ruined Miguel Cotto's career. Hands, he had a plaster of Paris. But he's still allowed to box again. Yeah, behind the glove are awful with interviews, to be honest. It's just pure propaganda. I'm not saying that. Latvinder Singh, you're missing the point, bro. Ingram's being objective. Shake my head. That's the point. It's about being objective. And a lot of you don't understand objectivity. Mainstream media lacks objectivity as well. That's what I'm saying. That's where you control. That's where you see those who control the media control the minds. My friend, dupe. You have been duped. If you believe mainstream media, just because it's on TV, gives it is the final word, then my friend, you need to do more research. That's a split-second picture, though. Pictures can be manipulated. They don't tell the whole story. Of course, they can't be. But listen, sure, it can be manipulated. I appreciate that. But that's media, isn't it? Media generally manipulates. Max boxing is so corrupt when it comes to a lot of money involved. Anything goes. Okay, there's another one there. How do you explain Fury outboxing Wilder? What has that got to do with this here? It's got nothing to do with it. Keep it moving. It's events like Margarita which have brought on the new regulations to stop it happening again. Hey, those who make the regulations can break the regulations. Those who make the regulation can break the regulations. And when there's money involved in the sport of boxing, there's corruption. There were rules then, and they were broken. Those rules then were broken. Cotto's career was shortened, and he could have been a great fighter. And he was getting hit with bricks. I heard nobody say anything about that. Whoever creates the rules can break the rules. Just remember that. Cheating and corruption still goes on in boxing. I know. But if you just listen to some of these people, though. Just listen to them carefully. Just listen to them. Objectivity. But, okay. You have a situation in your life, you have to go to court, yeah? And you want a fair trial. You want a fair trial. But the judge says to you, you know what? Nah, don't believe you. You don't even get a fair trial. Nah, don't believe you. A lot of the stuff that you guys are spewing and talking about, if it happened in your own lives, you'd be fuming. You'd be fuming. Swear down, I'm telling the truth. He cheated, Joe. So you think it's possible that Nevada Commission and Jay Diaz, who witnessed the gloved hands being wrapped, are in on this? Well, I go back to my original statement. I think if there's an investigation, all things are possible. If you're doing an investigation, I don't know if you all understand what an investigation actually is, but if you're doing an investigation, you don't go into investigation going, well, I think that. Don't care about what you think as you're going into the investigation, because your premeditated ideas can mess up the case. You've got to go in with a clean sheet of paper. Nobody's innocent. Fury's not innocent. Wilder's not innocent. I'm here to find the facts. When you go to court, they're not asking you about your feelings or your emotions. They're asking you fact. This happened on this day, at this time, at this event. Where were you when this happened? Where were you when that happened? How is this possible? Nobody's going, well, I think, going into, if you're going to do a murder case, well, I think everyone in this room is innocent. That's not, you know, You have to think this out. You see, watch people come in the room. Watch people come in the room. They watch the words and how they act. The commissioner had Fury's gloves from straight after the fight, and the WBC president said the claims are ridiculous. Kind of case closed. No, it's not kind of case closed. No, it's not case closed. As a matter of fact, the WBC president is just adding me on social media. No, it's not case closed. It's not case closed. It is the WBC at court. The same WBC who's given us franchise belt. The same WBC. The same WBC we want to ridicule because there's a Black Lives Matter boxing belt for Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. The same WBC that tell us that even if you lose with a franchise belt, you're still champion. The same WBC that installs these belts. And by the way, WBC never awarded Floyd Mayweather, who won countless WBC titles, never awarded him a belt. While there was a long reigning 10 fight defenses of the WBC title, he never got a franchise belt. The franchise belt was just there to stop certain fighters fighting other certain fighters. The ducking belt. So I don't want to hear anything from the WBC. Do you understand? Because back in the day when Don King was around doing big fights, they used to call them, back in Tyson's time, they used to call WBC will be crooks or will be criminals. So I don't want anything from the WBC. Why is the WBC going to turn around and out themselves? Who have you ever heard of somebody say who's guilty turn and say, "Oh, you know what? Actually, we did this." Are you crazy? With the amount of money that's been involved in this fight, are you crazy or what? Come on. Bear Wilder is delusional. What he is suggesting is impossible. Why is it impossible? Hell, BT even filmed his hands being wrapped, his gloves were checked and signed up by the commissioner, the ref, and J. Diaz. Well, I'm sorry. You can't just come and say somebody's delusional and leave it as that. That's dismissive. That's dismissive. So what makes your view? Okay, Ben Long, let me ask you a question. If I turn around and say to you now, you're delusional. If I said that to you, and I'm not saying that, if I said that to you and said you're delusional, and no, Wilder's telling the truth, you'd turn around and get offended by me if I called you delusional. What makes your opinion invalidate Deontay Wilder? That's what I'm asking the question. Why is it that we've got so many know-alls that actually weren't in the dressing room or weren't there at the time, but no, surely, undisputably, no doubt whatsoever, that Fury's right and Wilder's wrong. And Wilder's mad and Fury's not. What makes that opinion fact? What makes it fact? Also, I'm asking for a balanced opinion. And based on what investigation? Based on what you're told? Or based on what you know as fact and investigation? So I'm just saying, for this situation to be dropped properly, I want a full, independent investigation. That's why there needs to be an independent board within boxing, because there's too much of this nonsense going on. Did Wilder fail a drugs test post-fight? Don't know. That's not what we're here to talk about. But if he did, I'd like to know more about it. Surely it's too late to investigate now. Why is it too late? The gloves would have to be examined and ceased on light. Why is it too late? It's not too late. So these people are turning and said to me, "Oh well, Dillian Whyte, he's never going to get his shot at the world title because the same WBC." The same WBC, not just around the corner. As soon as White decided to take them to court, what happened? Oh yeah, okay. Because they knew they were in the wrong. Nobody talks about that. The fact that White got knocked out afterwards is irrelevant. The fact that he had to go to court, and when he went to court to fight the WBC, they surrendered straight away. Anyone talking about that? No. They should investigate it, so stop talking about it. It's a year later, nearly. Go get the gloves off the commissioner. What? Is that the response, is it? Whatever. If Wilder is serious, take Fury and the WBC to court. Not closing down Wilder accusations so quick. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I say. Take this stuff to court. Evening Ingram, yes, there's been cheating in boxing for years. But the problem is, when has it ever been proven that they've never reversed a decision? It's amazing. When you have got a cheat in boxing, you do nothing about it. Povetkin cheated 3 times. 3 times Povetkin cheated. What happened to Povetkin? Is he not fighting on pay-per-view? Okay. Lose Ortiz. He cheated, didn't he? He's still on pay-per-view. He's still got 2 world title fights. Do I have to keep going? Do I have to keep going? So even when you cheat in boxing, as long as you've got a good promoter, it don't matter. Drew Miller's out on his arse at the moment. But he deserves it. Povetkin doesn't deserve it. But Miller deserves it. That's what I'm talking about in boxing. No objectivity. Innocent until proven guilty. People don't get it. I know. This is the sort of people we've got in boxing, unfortunately. They wrongly disqualified Roy Jones Jr. They never reversed themselves. There we go. Another situation right there. Nobody talks about it. How do we know Wilder's girls won't tamper with as well? Oh dear, here we go. Here we go. That's a good point, mate. If you want to spin it. Floyd Mayweather made like 26 defenses and was champion for the first year of his career. He was never recognized for his defeat, so he always had to promote his own greatness. There you go. And that's the same reason why you've got the LDBC out there today. Because that media, that whole media set who are always bashing Floyd Mayweather, despite him being great, and none of the fighters in the media they had could compare to Floyd, or none of the fighters they had can make the type of money that Floyd made. Come on. So I salute the LDBC for that. And he was called arrogant, yeah. That's my point. Let's have it right. Wilder was all over the shop against way lesser fighters than Fury. It's only a matter of time before he got schooled. Either Wilder takes it further and moves on, or the end. Yes. Now see, that's fine. That now sounds objective, right? I'm not sitting down and telling around. So remember, what I'm saying is to be balanced. That's fair. I'm not sitting down and telling you Wilder was the greatest boxer. I never did. But I told you he had 1-punch knockout power. 1-punch knockout power. And that's what he's about. I'm not here to sell Wilder's boxing skills. I'm not here to sell Wilder's punching power. Whether he can box, he can't box. I couldn't care a lick. All I'm asking for at this point in time is about the man. And about him and his rights to have an opinion. And not only to have an opinion, but to have a fair investigation. That is what I'm saying. Because you know what? I believe in the whole thing of karma. Do unto others as you would like done unto yourself. I would like, if I was in a situation, I would like a fair trial. An independent trial. Independent of corruption or people who could be corrupted. A fair trial. That's what I'd want. And that's what I want to see for Wilder. And that's what I'd want to see for Fury. A fair trial. That's it. What am I asking for? The evidence overwhelmingly suggests Wilder is wrong. Hence, delusion. What evidence? Ben Lowe? Sorry. If I treat you the sort of contempt you're treating Wilder, I could say to you, mate, you're delusional. I could say to you, Ben, you're delusional. What makes your opinion so much so that he can't go for a fair trial? What grounds do you have to prevent an investigation? What's the problem with having an investigation, Ben? Let me ask you a question. What's the problem with Wilder going and having an investigation about this? If you're so sure. If the evidence is so compelling and it's so sure out there, but you haven't seen what Wilder's evidence is, but you know. You know. I don't understand. I don't get it. To be honest, Fury would have won the second. Oh my God, we're not talking about the fight. Skip that. Moving on. So why is he doing anything? Why isn't he doing something nearly a year later? Interesting question. It says here, I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just Wilder looked weak before the fight. And he also lacks boxing ability. And he seems to be underestimating Fury. There are things on his side which lead to his loss. Yes, we're not talking about boxing ability here, mate. We're not asking about boxing ability. We're asking the question, if Fury, if Wilder is right and Fury cheated, then what? That's the question I'm asking. I'm not asking you, do you think Wilder won the fight, or do you think Wilder with better boxability can beat Fury? That's not the question. Please stay on topic. Please, begging you. This is a good conversation. What if he's right? Shake my head. You can't be serious. Well, let's just hope that Jordan James, you don't have to ever go to court for a matter, and the judge says to you, be serious. You've got evidence, and the judge says to you, nah, it's all right. I don't want to hear what you got to say. You're delusional. Imagine in your life, your day-to-day life, you're at work, and somebody accuses you of stealing money at work, and you say, no, I didn't do it, I swear, and you get sacked, and the boss doesn't want to hear it, and you get unfairly dismissed, and then after that, you go to the court, and the judge says to you, nah, sorry, bro, you can't be serious. You see that it's okay when it's in your life. The rules have got to play right, but when it's somebody else's life and it's a boxer and you don't like that boxer, or you've got other agendas there, then it doesn't matter. Nah, sorry, I can't. Balanced guys are not balanced. There's more examples of people who are not balanced, and you wouldn't want those people to be judges at any point in time. Well, he didn't, because he failed the drugs test post fight. His mad claims of being drugged would have shown in the test. Yes, that's interesting. But do you know for sure, Chris, that test didn't come out? Because you're on rocky ground here, my friend. Because if there was a test and that was part of evidence, then what are you going to tell me, brother? Huh? When you start compiling evidence together, and you've got, because it takes time to compile the evidence that he's saying he's got. So if he's got evidence of this drug test, and his body's been tested with a drug test, and it's come out that, yeah, he was drugged for the fight, then what would you say? Do you say he made it up? I'm just asking the question. Because, here we go. Here's another one. Wilder should retire. He clearly took too many headshots before against Fury, and he's now making even less sense than he did before. It's amazing how these people tonight are coming out. Never heard them, never seen them on the channel before. We all know what's going on here. I'll never forget when ESPN will say Lomachenko is the best boxer they've ever seen. Yeah, I remember that garbage as well. Best fighter ever, best footwork ever. All this, absolute rubbish. Propaganda, isn't it? Propaganda. Even if there is an independent body, what's to say they themselves cannot be corrupted? Did you hear what I said, Max P? I swear some people type just for the sake of typing. I said they would have to be independent and non-corruptible. Please listen. So, when Manuel Marquez felt that he was being unfairly cheated against Manny Pacquiao, so he evened things up in the fourth fight. Why did he look like a linebacker? Self-defense. He had a life and family. Yep. There we go. Here it is. There was a whole commission and people in the room, and Marguerite still had plaster in his raps. So having a wild organization does not discount cheating. Thank you very much. Just to make it clear. Just to make that clear. This will rage on, I know, but all I'm trying is to be balanced. I'll be honest, looking back at the ring walk, Wilder looked completely off. He was blinking, alert, wiping his gloves over his eyes. Yes, that was happening. The real fishy thing about Wilder Fury 2 is that Wilder's legs did not look good from the beginning. I said that in commentary. I didn't think any amount of sex could sap your legs like that. I said that before the fight. Wilder's back leg does not look right from the first round, which made me think something's not right. But nobody's come back to me about that, by the way. I've said it, and nobody's tackled me on that yet. Nobody has come out and said to me, well, I couldn't have made it up, could I? Go back and listen to the commentary of Wilder versus a Fury 2. And what I'm saying, the first round, Wilder doesn't look right. Yeah, Shook. Wilder could barely stand straight in the first round. Wilder didn't look good from the beginning of the fight before Fury landed a shot. I want to know why. A thick thing can shook. Can shook. LOL. I'm not going to argue about that. I'm not sure if you can be objective when you think about things like that. But yeah, that was nice. I like that. Wilder is a big dosser. Yeah, okay. Very nice. Yeah. You know, when you're having trying to have an intelligent or intellectual conversation, and this comes up, Wilder is a big dosser. Yeah, moving swiftly on. BG London, you have a long-term zinc deficiency, LOL. ESPN said Loma was the best boxer they've ever seen. Yeah, Sky is the mostly football and tennis station. Yep. Wilder should go and have the investigation then. Yes. Stop talking about it. It's just excuses until then. All the evidence needs to be there from February. Is it not? I don't know, Adrian. That's the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation is that do you think evidence comes together like that in 5 minutes? Come on, bro. If you're getting a legal team behind you and you're getting evidence collated and you're getting your evidence packed, then what? Then what? And then you're trying to chase a third fight, and then they turn around and say to you, "Now the third fight ain't happening." Come on, man. So I'm just saying. All I'm saying is this: I don't care if you dislike the video. I really couldn't give up. All I'm saying is to be objective, and I'll just say this in a closing point. Just before I close, I want to do this to change subject and kind of lighten the mood. I will say this much: boxing is a sport which two people we want to see fight on a night give up time with their family, give up a normal life to put their bodies on the line, to put their body through horrendous punishment to entertain us. Here we go now. So they do deserve the utmost respect for that. How can you possibly ensure 100% of any independent commission is 100% not corruptible? If Fury has paid off Nevada and God knows how many people once he can do it again. Okay, now we're talking. So there's a possibility that Fury could pay people off. Interesting. Wilder's case would have been the accumulation of several pieces of evidence, video, gloves, commission. It's provable, but I don't think he'll get any boxers to come forward as witnesses. Well, it's interesting. Vinny Pazienza, the former champion of the world, he's basically suggesting that Tyson Fury took growth hormones. I haven't seen the whole video yet, but it's out there on YouTube. Do check that out. I want to share something with you before I go. If I can get it up, if you can just bear with me a second, I've got something to preview to you. Let's see if I can bring it up for you. Let's see. Let's see if I can play this for you. Let's see if I can do this for you. Right. So, I want to show you all this that are watching while you're in the room. Let's see if I can do this. Share screen. Let's see if I can do this. Come on, Ingram. No. No. Let's. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see what's going on here. Let me see. Let me see if this works. If this works, we're away. Let's get this big screen up. Let's see if we can get this going. Okay. Can you see that? I think you can. Nope. Looks I'll have to upload it afterwards for you. I'll upload it at the end of this video for you. Hadn't Fury paid off the farmer? Interesting. The people who don't believe in fair investigation would be a terrible judge. Lord have mercy. That's true. Right. Well, what I was going to do is I was going to show you, basically, to close on this, thank you all so much for tuning into this particular video about whether if Wilder actually is telling the truth, and if Fury, listen, if you all discover, just for 1 second, if Wilder is correct and he can produce the evidence which is telling and undeniable, how will you view Tyson Fury? How would you view the sport of boxing? What would you think of the commissioner? What would you think of the people that are involved? Would that change your thoughts on the world of boxing? I ask this question now because if I don't, I think it just wouldn't be fair. So all I'm asking is for a balance. I'm not saying Fury's right. I'm not saying Wilder's wrong or Wilder's right. This isn't about colour. This isn't about nationality. It's just, what if? There's a reason why they're called commissions. Isn't that what the mob was called? Wow. Right. Just to let you all know that there will be a WBC, a BWTM online mobile app that will be available on Android, and it will be available on Apple next week. So next week there will be a BWTM mobile app. So you'll get notifications. You don't have to be coming to YouTube. It'll be all there for you. So just to let you all know that little bit of information. Fury's finished if he's proven that even if it's true, it won't be evidence, will be tampered and will be destroyed by now. Really? Not if Wilder's got all the evidence beforehand. Corruption is in any business at the highest level. This is what I'm saying. Right. If you haven't already, subscribe now to the channel. Also, like and share the video. And let's keep the conversation going, people, in the comment section. If you don't think that there should be investigation, say why there should be investigation. And if you think there should be an investigation, say why there should be investigation. And if you think it's a waste of time, even say it's a waste of time as well. But could you imagine if Wilder is right and Fury had cheated? Could you imagine? Or then, could you imagine Fury coming to the court with compelling evidence that Wilder's talking rubbish? A lot of you in here would be delighted. But ultimately, I just want balance and fairness, and to know that if two fighters get in the ring, they both put their lives on the line, they both should be given the equal amount of airtime to share their views without being demonized or humiliated. Okay? Thanks for listening.